Bass heads, what's good? Welcome to another video. If we haven't met yet, my name is Ted and I talk bass. I was thinking today, scrolling through the social medias and boom, 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 boom. There's like course after course after. Somebody's always got something to sell you. Somebody's always got something to sell you, including me, because we have to keep the lights on. Nothing I'm about to say is an admonishment or a dig at anybody. I just don't roll like that. I do have a membership that helps support the creation of everything that I do here. I can't give everything away for free, and neither can other creators in my space. Having said that, I've really been thinking a lot about this lately, particularly after seeing an ad for someone that I thought was a very fine ad, and there was another person who is also well known in the space that took a shot at that person in that ad, and I was like, why do you have to do that? Why do you have to do that? You don't have to do that. You let that man make his money. Let that man do his thing. And I start thinking, man, what is it about playing bass? What is it? I mean, let's keep it 100. You know that 2 + 2 is 4, right? 4 + 4 is 8. I didn't teach you that. Somebody taught me that. Somebody taught you that, but they weren't the same people. Those are facts. So I don't care who it is, if it's me or somebody else. There are some things about playing music, not just bass, but being a musician, that are they're just common. And there's nothing the only thing that makes it unique for me to say it is me. Or somebody else on YouTube to say it is them. Like, who is the person that resonates with you the most? What does it take to be a good bass player? Some of you have already checked out. For those of you who haven't, come in close. So I know that a lot of people that watch my channel, you come here, you want to decompress after work. You want to play with you're not trying to go be the next Instagram star. You're not trying to go play Broadway musicals. You're not doing that hustle. Man, you want to jam with your buddies, or you want to learn how to play a tune for a gig you got coming up. Something like that. That's what you want to do. So that's not rocket science. I've made some notes here. These are some things that I think not just make a good bass player, but a good musician, period. These are some things. They are not all things, okay? So under these umbrella, you could think of each one of these as an umbrella, and other things fall under there. So let's call the first one technique or physical interface. You need to be able to pick the instrument up, hold it down, put it down, pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down, and not have to relearn what you're doing every time you pick up the instrument. That's basic, right? That's basic. So you need to learn how to do that. You need whatever mental blocks you have that keep you from, and I go deep into this over at Groove School. The link is below. You can join my membership or not, no pressure. But that's a ground level thing that you need to have, right? You need to be able to physically play the instrument. Can you play it? Rhythm and time feel. Time feel can get really esoteric. So let's talk about the rhythm part of it. There's no getting around rhythm. You need to always know where one is, right? So at the bass level, you need to be able to feel the pulse and then feel the subdivisions within a measure. You need to be able to recognize common rhythmic language, common rhythmic phrases that happen all the time in all genres of music. It doesn't matter what genre of music it is, right? Music is music, I will fully agree with, I will fully 100% agree with a creator in the space when they say, no matter if you're playing rock, jazz, funk, blues, whatever, there's bound to be a G major 7 in there somewhere. That is 100% factual. However, do you need to know all that before you play? Or should not knowing that bar you from playing or hinder you from enjoying playing? Not necessarily. You'll never, ever, 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 ever hear me say that music theory is not important. I rather enjoy studying music theory, learning music theory, talking about music theory. It's a brain workout for me as well. Always has been. So I'm a little bit not I am no Adam Neely, but but when I cannot think of the last gig where my knowledge of theory or lack thereof was a factor. Could I play the instrument? Did I have a good sense of time, right? And rhythm, those things. Let's get into the next thing. Functional harmony. Functional harmony. What do I mean by functional harmony? Excuse me. There are 7 notes in a scale. Each one of those notes creates a new scale, a new mode, right? Scale, mode being the same thing. And there's a chord associated with those notes, right? The 1 is major, the 2 is minor, 3 is minor, 4 is major, 5 is major, 6 is minor, 7 is diminished, and of course you get back to 1 again. So that's basic, right? But when people say the chord progression is 6 2 5 1. Okay, if we're in the key of C major, just to keep it simple, we're going. What I say, 6 2 5 1. We're going from A minor, D minor, G, back to C. 6 2 5 1. Right? You know that I'm just pulling that out the air right quick, but you know that those chords are just like everything could be traced back to the major scale. And that there are very common chord progressions that happen in all types of music. You can trace everything back to the major scale, right? Even when there are more exotic, let's call them exotic chord progressions, you could still, depending on how far you want to go down that rabbit hole, trace those things back to the major scale. But if you're just like, man, I play bass in a country band on the weekend, you do that or you don't do that. But don't let nobody tell you that you have to do that before you play, right? The next thing is ear training, right? You have to have decent ears. That goes right along with hearing those chord progressions, hearing common chord progressions, hearing common intervals and being able to address common intervals. All right? Shapes. I don't want to, this video is already like 8 minutes long. Shapes. There are certain shapes on bass that you're always going to play. Always, 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 always. Triad types. How many different triad types are there? There are only 4. How many 7th chord types are there? You know what I mean? So, and you can find that out anywhere, right? But finding it out and having it here is one thing. You got to also be able to apply it here. And some people can apply it here long before they know it up here. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? I am on the side of language as we learn language in, the language that we're speaking. We learn how to speak. We're watching and we're copying and we're figuring it out. One of the analogies I use is like with babies, we can't even, all of us, our heads, we can't even hold our heads up when we're babies. And if you're like me and you got one of these giant noggins, you really have a hard time. But what happens is you continue to watch, and then you build up your musculature. You're practicing, right? You're kind of shedding, right? Same thing with standing up, sitting down. You see people around you like, they doing this thing with their legs. I don't know what it is, but I want to do it too. So you copy. Long before that you understand that there are words for crawl, walk, and run. That's the way I see it. I don't have to be right about anything. There's no prize right? There's no prize in me being right. Nobody's going to pay me extra money for being right. It's just my opinion, okay? But what I would say is you decide. I think the number one reason why a lot of people, and you might be one of them, why you are not getting better at the instrument or maybe even some other things in your life is you haven't decided on what your goal is. You don't have an end goal in mind. We have to have an end goal in mind. Another analogy, and I'll leave you with this. I like to work out, but I do not work out like a fitness influencer. There's no need for me to. I'm not going to diet the way that they do. I'm not going to sleep the way that we do. I'm not going to be like Ashton Hall getting up at 3 a.m. I ain't got no chick giving me, my food. Thank you. And dipping my head in the water. You know what I mean? I don't have that. So I'm realistic about what I want to be mobile. I want to get up in the morning and touch my toes. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, take note of those things that I told you in this video. I hope that you found them helpful. I really do. If you did, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up, hit that like for the algorithm, hit that subscribe button, all that good stuff. And if you want to go deeper with me, no pressure, there is a link below for you to come on and join me over at the Groove School. Okay, I don't do Patreon, I do my own membership site, so it's linked below this video. As always, I appreciate you spending some time with me. You could be anywhere, but you spent the last few minutes with me. Down there somewhere is that subscribe button with my face on it. You can click that, subscribe to the channel. Up there is a video that YouTube thinks you might like, and down at the bottom is a playlist that I think you ought to check out. In any event, as always, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace. 2 fingers.